Hello, everybody. It's Dave Neal, stand-up comic and host of Bachelor Nation News. We've got last night's episode of The Bachelorette. The recap is already up. The podcast, Bachelor Rush Hour, is already up. I included non-Bachelor news there. Jonah Hill, the fallout from his creepy text messages being revealed, plus other stories like Jamie Foxx and Britney Spears. All the entertainment news in one place. Right there. It's up now. But we're going to do a deeper dive right now on Brayden. Bad guy or bad edit? Not a bad guy. Bachelorette villain Brayden Bowers did not join show for fame and is getting a bad edit, the best friend claims. Well, others are criticizing Charity for her not being able to pick up on the red flags. We're going to get into all of these different angles of the story. And also, we've got Claire and Emma Pod, and they have Claudia Yankee on from the Black Roses, and they are discussing what they think of Brayden. So we're going to share all of this right now. Do me a favor, follow me on Instagram. I'll be in San Diego this week. Actually, tomorrow night, Pacific Beach, I've got a stand-up show, and Thursday night at Madhouse Comedy Club. So if you want to come to those shows, go to my Instagram, @DNeals. All right. Well, let's read this article first here, or at least graze through it. Bachelorette fans slam Charity Lawson for missing all of Brayden's red flags and say the bar is on the floor. So we'll go down to what people were saying. One person said Charity missing every one of Brayden's red flags with a photo of her getting hit in the face with a baseball from earlier in the show. Are we just supposed to move on from the fact that Brayden called Charity classless for kissing another man on a dating show where she dates 20 plus men at once? Brayden just wrote a note on a baseball and Charity was smitten. The bar for men is on the floor. Another person said Charity is giving lust is blind right now. The real Brayden's wild style has become the hot topic of Bachelor Nation, and the U.S. Sun has the exclusive backstory on the reality star's dangly earrings. Nobody cares. Charity defended Brayden's choice of accessories on Instagram after host Jesse Palmer mocked the contestant's outfit. Now, Brayden's bestie spoke out in an interview with the U.S. Sun after claims that his eclectic style is just for TV. Caleb Webb, Brandon's best friend of 6 years, recalled the time he got his ears pierced and when he believes was a year and a half ago. He actually FaceTimed me after he had it done, and I think he had feather ones on at the time when he called me. I was like, oh my gosh, what did you do, man? He's like, what, you don't like it? You know you're going to catch a bunch of crap for this. And he was like, I don't care. And then they went on to say that the reason why he has the earrings is because he served in the military where he couldn't wear earrings. And it's his way of kind of, I don't know. And I don't know, even know if that's true. I don't know how the story goes. So either way, we'll get to what his friend is saying about him not being the villain after we hear from Claire and Emma. I'm going to play two different reels that they shared. One from last week, unpacking Brayden's claim that Charity disrespected him, and then we'll share their thoughts on his red flags.
On every season of the show, people
watch other people.
They watch, often other people are present, or they hear about it, or they just know about it. Like, it's a dating show. And like, he thinks that because he like made out with her first and he told everyone about it, that's reserved for him now.
And it's also the thing that really gets me is that he is then like, well, I'm going to wield this as a weapon against Charity to extract more affirmation from her, to get her to operate this relationship under my terms, or else I am going to leave.
Yeah. And it's because she was disrespecting someone else. I'm just so principled. I won't stand for anyone disrespecting another human being. Okay, so was it respectful when you went back to the group of guys and bragged to all of them that you made out with the girl they're all trying to date? You bragged about details of that kiss?
Or was it respectful when you needled Adrian about like how he wasn't your MVP? I mean, just come on, bro. Come on,
yeah.
bro.
No, the standard's for thee and not for me. Like, he doesn't give a fuck about being respectful to other people. He gives a fuck about being able to control Charity's behavior. On every season.
Well, okay, so obviously those are their opinions, and I don't necessarily disagree with them. The whole like, what's meant for me is not for thee, whatever, however the saying goes. Yeah, they're funny. What's up, bro? Gotta love them. Gotta love a good hard B word. Come on, bro. But yeah, it's more so a sign of maybe immaturity than it is him weaponizing to control Charity. He just kind of like says what he's thinking. And some of the other guys have said, hey, you got to play it cool. Act like you've been here before. And the truth is they haven't been there. But the adversity of, being giddy, about the first kiss and not understanding that it's going to look bad in front of the other guys. That's a sign of, I guess, a lack of awareness, but that doesn't mean you're a bad person if you're not aware. He's just casting a large wake in a wake-free zone. The wake-free zone being the cocktail party and him being like, driving by being like, I guess charity, right? So I want to hear what their thoughts are based on last night's episode.
This is what bothers me about Brayden's whole approach is that it does sound like honesty and transparency, right? You're like, oh, he's like opening up to her, but it actually seems like this very carefully calculated way of lowering her expectations.
I always just get a little like my hackles up a little bit when I see someone be like, I'm so into you, but I'm just worried I'm gonna hurt you.
Yeah.
There's something about that just feels like he's saying, I have permission to hurt you because I've told you I might do it, rather than being
I'm no good for you, baby.
Right.
Now this is where, while I like what they're doing, it is leaping. You are leaping. He said this, so it's almost like he said that. Well, okay, I understand, and respectfully, I have to kind of push back because, and I like what they do here. But I think it's less calculation. They're saying he's calculated the way that he talks about lowering her expectations. I think it's less calculation and more word vomit, more him just saying how he's feeling and not understanding that, like, yeah, look, this isn't normal. This is part of the show. This is just how it works. So you can say how you're feeling and all this, but you have to play it cool. You have to play it cool with the other guys. You have to almost hold your cards close to your heart. You have to be like, all right, things are going well, but you don't want to be braggadocious because you're putting a target on your back. Essentially what he has the Thomas target on his back. Remember Thomas and Katie Thurston are making out, or Spanx are showing, they're having a good time, they're laying out, and then all of a sudden the guys are like, well, if you don't win this, would you be the Bachelor? And he's like, yeah, I guess, why not? We're all friends here. And then someone's like, and they run off to Katie. He wants to be the Bachelor. He's like, that's not what I said. So I feel almost more that Brayden is a useful idiot in this circumstance, and by useful idiot, I mean everything he says can and will be used against him by everybody else.
For you,
you don't want me, but
yeah.
Well, it's a setup. It's a setup for,
exactly.
I get to behave badly in the future because I've told you I was this really good, wholesome person who communicated everything up front, and so now you're the problem because I told you that once.
Interesting stuff. I don't really see it that way. But again, I've said this before. I said this on the podcast today. I have the ability to still be naive when people, I'm like, oh no, everyone's, and I do believe everyone tries the best with the information they have. Brayden became the center of drama during last week's episode after castmate Adrian told Charity he was treating the show like spring break and didn't sign on to do the series for the right reasons. Which again, I think that's also rubbish. I think Adrian, it's a big misstep whenever you play the guy do you remember Adrian last night? Yo, Adrian! He said, I'm looking at it from a bird's eye view. No, you're not. You're looking at it from your own eyes because you're competing as well. So when it came to Adrian and Brayden beefing, I almost had to side with Brayden because it's like, look, Charity is a fully grown woman who can think for herself. Anything short of Brayden telling you I'm completely here for the wrong reasons, you can't assume that he's there for the wrong reasons because, like, look, everyone's there for, whatever. So here's what his friend had to say. Now the travel nurse's best friend is speaking out on the claims that he's there for the wrong reasons. He's talked about a couple of times how he's had a couple of bad relationships. Before this, we would joke, he was like, oh, I'm not going to be with anyone until it's the right girl, the girl that I love. Caleb told the U.S. Sun in an exclusive interview. I think he's 100% on board with something like this. He's going on there and everybody's interested in the same thing and has roughly the same intentions. Caleb noted that it was another friend who got him on the show and that Brayden didn't even apply himself. After rounds of interviews in which Brayden brought up his rough history with relationships, he joined the show for a different experience. He's very much the type of person who, if it's something that he's not familiar with, he'll dive headfirst and give anything a try. And if it ends up being something that is what he's looking for in a relationship, then I think he's doing it more so for that type of reason. Caleb explained while adding Brayden isn't big on social media and wouldn't be on the show for more followers. Despite Adrian thinking Brayden was on the show for the wrong reasons, the 24-year-old contestant received the first impression rose, and then he got the one-on-one date and all of that. So Of course, yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think it's a little childish to be like, I'm packing up my bags if I don't get the right answers from her. It's like, all right, pipe down. But like I said, we all experience adversity in a different way. And he's a young guy. I can't imagine being 24 and going on a show like this and thinking I'm going to come out of it unscathed. I just can't imagine that happening. And so do I give him the benefit of the doubt? Yeah, I do. And I also give Charity the benefit of the doubt for pursuing different relationships. It's like everyone needs to calm down. She doesn't have all her eggs in this one basket. You know what I mean? I wanted to share this other one with you. I believe this was Warwick. He said not much has changed in their baby photos of him passed out sleeping. And it reminded me of Warwick is not the first contestant to fall asleep on the show. It reminded me of Corinne. Here's a clip from my chat with Corinne where she talked about sleeping on the set of The Bachelor.
Sex is my weapon. I will never not flirt with people. That's just me.
How did that play with the other ladies of the season?
Well, they just didn't like it.
Yeah.
They just didn't like it. They were mad when I was napping. They were mad when I was awake and stealing their mans. So, I was like, make a decision. I'm either going to nap or I'm going to steal your man.
Yeah, you can't steal a man while you're napping. That they should be happy that you're taking.
Exactly. I was doing you a favor.
All right, so there it is. Corinne Olympios doing the world a favor by napping, and Warwick the same thing. All right, if you want to check out that full episode and you haven't already, just click this link and you can go watch it or catch all of my other Driving with Dave episodes right now. We'll be back tomorrow. The podcast is live, Bachelor Rush Hour. If you want to go listen, it's free. We'll talk to you later. Bye, guys.